Hello, my name is Katie and welcome to my shed. It's Saturday afternoon that is, and I have just finished last week's video and I'm going to start this week's. I think I was in such a privileged place with the last few videos that I could do them over a course of a couple of weeks because I was on annual leave. Now I'm back at work and it's school holidays. I've really only got small pockets of time to get into my shed and to create. So we probably will be, starting one, finishing one on the same day. So we're going to start this week today, and I don't even know when my days off are next week, but it'll carry on through the week. Anyway, this week I am going to work on. I want to do some more oils. I want to do some more oils, and I've got this old painting that I showed you last week, and I want to do some work on this. This is in acrylic, so I'm going to give it a coat of clear gesso. While that's drying, then we'll swatch out the paints from last week. I'll re-show them quickly because just in case this is your first time watching me. Hello, my name's Katie. I paint part-time, work full-time, and like hanging out in my shed. What was I saying? So yeah, I'll do some swatching while that's drying, and then we're going to work on that in oil, and that's probably all we're going to do this week, but we'll see how we go. Right, let's start the gesso first. Okay, I've got the palette from the painting I did last week, and although I don't want most of the colours, I do want to keep the, I think it's called the King's Blue. I'm going to use that in this painting, and then I've got these colours as well to add to it. Got a Payne's Grey. I'm not sure if I'll need it, but we'll see. A little bit of I've got some alizarin crimson, a magenta, Prussian blue, and ultramarine, and some white. And I think what I need to do is just darken the dark, lighten lights, give it a bit of contrast and a bit of definition. So we'll just have a play and see what happens. Okay, it's Sunday now, and I feel like this is probably as done as I want it for now. It is very flat, and I'm still not 100% sure. I quite like this, where I blended it, because before it was very harsh, like blocky lines, which is my normal style. And I like these trees, and the fact they're quite wispy, and then you've got these flat colours around them. To work out what it is, I'm not sure about. Foreground bush, that's not quite right. I'm not sure what needs to happen there. So I wonder if we just need to get rid of it completely. This is quite distracting, isn't it? Okay, maybe I'll get rid of that and then I'm going to leave it alone because the shed smells. Okay, let's swatch out some of these colours. We'll start with the acrylics. I've put a little line on so we can look at how opaque it is, and I'm going to try and do them. I'll do the acrylics dry with nothing added, and then we'll have a look at the, sorry, the cat's outside, she's hunting I think grasshoppers today. Right, so this one is the Mars Violet, which is a new colour for me. And I've never used these acrylics before, so I'm quite excited to see what they're like. Oh, that's very opaque. And apologies for the paper. I had a sketchbook where it's all crumpled up, so I thought, oh, I might as well use it for swatching, but it's quite thin paper. Okay, I'm just gonna, this brushes a little bit down, so I'm gonna add a tiny bit of water to this, just see what happens. Although I wouldn't usually use water, I'd usually use an acrylic medium, but no, we'll use what we've got. Okay, so that's that. We'll let that dry. Next is the Phthalo Turquoise. It's heavy with this one. So that one's not opaque at all. Look forward to that. It's a great colour though. Not really sure why I've suddenly been drawn to these sorts of colours, but there's obviously something in my head that's made me think, oh, I know what I want to do. Aqua blue is the next one. They're quite good value, these, because they are 60 mils, so they'll last me for probably years, knowing me. I like that, that's really flat as well, I like that. I feel like I probably didn't need to go so heavy on the gouaches. Oh. Sorry about that, got interrupted with a cat trying to attack my cat. Oh, it's back again. What do you reckon? Third time lucky? Let's carry on with this. So yes, the cat tried to get my girl. So that one is dried already, but it is quite opaque and it's lovely and flat. Really like that flatness. And then this one is Composed Green, which looks a bit like a Viridian. Well, kind of. Is it Viridian-y? I haven't got anything similar to it. Anyway, let's see what it's nice. It's actually not, it's much more turquoisey. But again, not very opaque, but lovely and flat. Yeah, they are. I like those. The next one, another brand I've not tried, but I thought I would try because they were in the sale on Jasckson's, is Lukas. They're German. This one's a phthalo blue. I just went for a colour really. Not that I desperately needed one. This one is PB15. I didn't look at the others, I'll have a look at those in a second. Very transparent. It's quite in your face. Clearly planning on something very bright. Right, let's have a look at the pigments. So Mars Violet, PR101. The turquoise is PB16. Interesting. I wonder what, they're both just PB16. Oh, that's 15. PB16. The aqua, PB15 and PW6, and the green is PG7, PW6, and yeah, this one was PB, what did I say, 15? Lost it already. PB15. Okay, let's look at the washes. Which one did I do first? The ash blue is this one. It's kind of a grey. A little bit of water to that. Then this one is the Myosotis blue, which looks quite lilac actually in colour. Feels quite thin. I don't know if that's just the end of the, because it's just sort of sitting in the end of the tube there. Let's have a look. You can see there's a few little crumbs in there. And then the last one we've got to test is this Rosa Gallery Cobalt Green, and I just feel like in my roses I haven't got a lot of green options. I've got an emerald green and I've got one which is just called green, which is a bit of a sap green really. So I thought this might be quite a nice addition. Its number is 776, and before I tear this off, it's PG26. So let's have a look. For those of you that are new here, Rosa Galleries are, I think they're one of my favourite. I don't use a lot of watercolours, but I've really started enjoying using these ones. I think some of it is because they are fairly affordable compared to some of the other brands, and they are nicely pigmented, and I feel like they're quite a good value watercolour compared to some of the other ones. And because I'm not, you know, I'm new to watercolour. Right, so I've just sprayed that with a little bit of water, so let that reactivate. This isn't watercolour brush obviously, but you know, lazy. Anyone that's new here, apologies, I am an incredibly lazy artist, and I like this colour. This paper isn't white, so it might be interesting to see how it looks like on a white. So let me just go and grab some white paper just to test this on. Okay, it's just the back of an old drawing, so let's just see what this does on a watercolour paper. Just realised I've forgotten the white one that I bought. So this is a Golden So Flat matte acrylic, and I do like really matte paintings, so I just thought I'd give this a go. I've never used this one before. I have got, oops, there's the thumbprint, lovely. Got this little sketchbook, so I'll just pop some in here. It's not flat. It's like laying down in lumps. That might just be because I'm using a bit of the lid. Okay, let's have a little look at them now they've dried. So I feel like the Mars Violet will be a useful colour. It does remind me of the Daniel Smith Indian Red. Actually, let me grab it and it's a bit stiff. I haven't used it for a while. There we go. Right, let's put a blob on here and see how different it is. a little bit lighter, isn't it? But let me spread it out and let it dry, and then we'll come back to that one afterwards. Goodness me, it goes a long way with that, doesn't it? Okay, you see that there? I'm not sure what the pigment is. It is PR101. What was the Mars Violet? Oh look, PR101. That'd be why it reminds me. Let's wait for it to dry and then we'll see if it actually is the same. It's a bit more red than that one, but I do like this. I think it's a little bit transparent for, I don't know. I'm not sure how much I use it, but maybe if I was living in the Med or the Caribbean, I'd use it more. Really like this aqua blue. I can see me using that a lot for my sort of my flat skies that I like to do. I like this, but it is quite in your face. But it might be nice just for a few highlights. I'm not sure that I'll use this one that much, but we'll see. I'll add these to my board up there. Not sure I like this ash blue that much, which was a shame because that's the one I was the most excited about trying. I think I'll use this one quite a lot. It's my Myosotis blue. It's quite a nice green. Not sure again when I'll use that, but I do like doing some landscape and it'll be quite a nice one to take out with me. And then the other one was the So Flat White, which, if I'm honest, is probably the biggest disappointment. I'm not a fan of that because I don't feel like it's flat at all, because it's so transparent that in order to get flatness and you need to layer it, but then you get this sort of where you can see all the different layers. So I'm not loving that. Don't know if you can see, it's come up a bit too bright now, isn't it? There we go. Yeah, you see what I mean? So for me, although it is flat as in it's very matte, it's definitely not what I was hoping for. So quite disappointed in that. Okay, so it's dry now, well, pretty much dry now. So there is a difference, but they are fairly similar. Also, if you notice a change on the quality of the image, I'm not sure what's happened, but it feels like I'm in high definition at the moment, and I don't know why. But yeah, I like that one. I think they're both, that would be a useful colour as well. So all in all, I'm quite happy. I think they're quite good additions. I have added them to my colour chart, and I feel like they are definitely different to colours I've already got. So okay, plan is to get this one finished. It's nearly there, if I'm honest. There's just a few spots that I want to touch up just to complete it. There's quite a lot of texture in the sky here, so I wonder if I might keep this quite flat. But let's make a start on it and see where we go. Well, I've successfully managed to mess this up, so I'm happy with the sky. It's just this foreground. I thought it'd be nice to have a little bit of this sort of turquoisey green in there, but it's just too much, so I have sanded it back, and then I've just put some gesso over the top, and then once it's dry I'll do something else with it. I might leave touches of it in, but definitely not these big chunks of it. So yeah, maybe not gonna get it finished today like I thought I would, which is a shame. So right, I need to go in and cook some dinner, I think, so I will catch you later. Good morning. Somehow we've made it all the way to Thursday and I'm only just back, so I just had to watch back on the clips to see what we were doing on the last clip, and we were working on this painting here, which I figured because it was on the desk still, on this one here. And I've just been sitting here staring at it for a while, and if I'm honest, what I need to do with, I think, with the foreground is make it much more solid, so one colour, because it's really distracting from the sky, and I want the sky to be the focus. It's amazing, like texture. I don't know if you can hear it. Hear that? But there's so much texture in there, and yeah, so I think the foreground needs to be made flatter, so that is what I'm going to do today. And I'm going to pop you on a quick little time-lapsey thing because my daughter's playing in the garden and you don't want to hear that. Right, see you in a minute. I mean, I don't know if you could see from when I was doing that, I was very nervous of doing this area and this area because I really liked them as they were, but they weren't working for the picture, so I had to do something. Anyway, I've gone quite dark. I don't know if it works. It's a little bit light here, but that's deliberate. And what I will do is, once it's dry, I've put quite a lot of extender in it, so it's going to take a little while to dry, and then sand it back a little bit to add a little bit of this texture and colour back in, but not too much, and then make a decision as to whether I'm happy or not. But I do think it works better as a complete image with this flatter. It's hard, I just like messy colour, and this has made it much flatter and less exciting to look at, but I can't have the problem with the way it was is my eyes were like, oh, look at that, oh, look at that, and oh, I want to look up here and around here, and my eyes just didn't move around the image in the way I want. I do need something in here to draw your eye around, but not like as much as it was. Does that make sense? Anyway, I'm going to leave this to dry, and then I'll come back and sand it a little bit, and we'll see what it looks like. Okay, so I've just come back in after a bit of lunch, and I'm really pleased with it. I'm not gonna lie, I was a bit nervous when I went in for lunch, thinking, oh, I'd ruined it all, but actually I like it now it's dried. I'm not sure if there's a feeling of 2 different days going on, but actually, oh, sorry, I like that there's like this glimmer of light running along here, and then you've got this sort of moody sky much closer. No, pleased, I'm really pleased. I don't even know if I'm going to sand it back. Let me have a little look and I think. Okay, I think I'm done. I really like this one, super pleased with it. It's not how I had envisaged it going, but actually I'm pleased with it. let me show you a slightly closer up. What I've done is put another layer of clear gesso on the bottom here, just to fade it back a tiny bit, but also, I don't know if you can see, it's got this really lovely sheen to it compared to the matteness of the sky. So I think that is fab, and that's finished. So this one's painted on a board, let me get the name. Yeah, I'd forgotten it. It's on an ampersand board, and I bought a few years back, and they are quite pricey, so I hadn't really used them. I tend to paint on bits of ply or something instead, just because it's cheaper, but it does give this really lovely smoothness to a painting. So we've finished that one. Did I finish that one this week or last? That was last week's, wasn't it? This was the other one that we were working on. And I'm not sure it looks that different to how it did before I did my work on it. And I think this is finished. I'm not sure I'm going to do anything with it, because I'm not sure it's going to do anything else. I think it's done. I'm not going to attempt to send it or frame it or anything, but that's that one. Is that all we did this week? I think it is. I'm going to just quickly look back at the videos and check. It is. I've just checked back on the videos. So they were the two I worked on, and we did the swatching of my new paints from Jasckson's. But we're in the throes of another heat wave, and it's just grim in here. It's so sweaty. I probably should get a fan, if I'm honest, because there's no breeze. So even with the door open, there's just sweaty stickiness. And my chair base, the bit you sit on, is that the base cushion? It's like a fake leather, and it's all cracked, and because I'm wearing shorts, it's like sticking to me, and it's horrible. So I've ordered like a little cover to go over that, and I probably wear shorts 3 days a year, so it's probably not that big a deal, but I can't sit down because it's just horrible. It feels grim, and my little brain can't cope with it. So I don't know what I'm going to do next week. I feel like I'm done with the abstract landscapes for a little while, because I've done 2 videos on the trot now, and I know that's not for everybody, so I'm going to stop with those. I have got this that I'd like to finish, which is an oil. Some little waders on there, and it kind of got started and yeah, ended at this here, but I'm not sure if I want to do oils again this week, just because the shed has only just stopped smelling of oil paints. But I think I might put that as my thing that I'm going to aim to get finished. This one's also painted on one of the ampersand boards, and I've had it half finished, I think, probably about 6 years. So probably now's the time to get it done. And I feel like I might have the same issue that I had with the other one, in that there's so much going on here. At least here I've left it fairly thin. So you can see this is, you can't see, no. This one's quite thin, and this is all applied a little bit more chunkily. So we might work on that. We might not. Let me see what else, my other options. Just been thinking, the other thing that I've got to get done in the next couple of weeks is the prep for our October workshop, so that we can market it. So I'm doing creative well-being, but so I want some exercises to do with people, but I still want there to be like an end product, because I feel like if you're going on a workshop, you don't just want to come home with loads of little scraps and sort of exercises. You still want to come home with a piece, don't you? So I need to just have a think about what that's going to look like and what I'm expecting the outcome to be for people. That's been a bit waffly, sorry. I just don't really have the energy to think about what I'm going to say before I say it today. I'm so hot and tired. I guess I had that annual leave, and then this is my 2nd week back at work, and it's always really tiring, isn't it, when you're just back from leave, because you're on that kind of catch up, and then when you've caught up, you realise you are still tired and you need another holiday. and it's been really busy at work. Yeah, so my brain is mushy as well as my body at the moment, which I would say is a good reason to be in my shed more. Actually, thinking about it, obviously there is the work element, but I do wonder if it's because I've not been in my shed as much the last couple of weeks, because like I was saying on last week's video, or at the beginning of this one, I can't remember, but it's school holidays, and if you've got a child, you will know you can't just sit in your shed all day, even if you want to. So I'm not getting the blocks of time that I normally would have in my shed, and that might also be why I'm feeling tired, because if I am to believe the stuff that I'm teaching in the creative well-being workshop is that, you know, art and being creative will energize you, and I'm not doing it, not to the extent that I normally would. I'm sure some people would think the amount of time I'm spending in my shed is still excessive for them, for what they would do, but not for me. Definitely not spending as much time. So what I'm going to do, I've got to go back in the house, as much as I want to hang out in here all afternoon, but I'm going to take a sketchbook with me and try and be creative in the house, and maybe I'll find some things to draw in the house. If I do, I will show you next week. There goes the big bus. I don't know if the trains are working today because I keep hearing a lot of buses. What were we saying? Yes, so I'll do some sketching and I will show you next week. In fact, I'm going to make that my pledge, to do a bit of sketching, and I'll report back. Hold me to account if on next week's video I don't show you anything. Send me a grumpy comment. Okay. Right, have a lovely week. Take care, and I'll see you soon. Bye.